Born and raised here, and I have spent my career prosecuting cases here, and I've never seen anything quite like this. Again, we're fortunate that we don't see that very often, but if and when things do happen like this, we are going to be on top of it. We're going to use every tool that we have to go after people who are endangering innocent lives.
Reaction there just a short time ago to a ruling imposing a life prison sentence on 3 people convicted in a murder for hire plot. This led to 2 deaths and a lot of injuries in 2022.
And that includes the mastermind of the conspiracy and a convicted hitman. Fox 10's Brendan Kirby joining us now at the Breaking News Center.
Brendan, an emotional day.
Yeah, it was, Lenise and Cameron. There was a lot of heartache in that courtroom. There was a lot of anger. And ultimately, according to the victims' families, there was justice. It was a miracle, prosecutors say, that more people didn't die during a violent spree in 2022 that included shootings at 2 nightclubs and a Walmart in Mobile and a Mississippi casino. Derek Shavers was a completely innocent victim of a shooting at the Bank nightlife in September of that year, in what investigators later determined was a case of mistaken identity. That same month, Mobile native Nicholas Craig was sitting in his car in the parking lot of the Scarlet Pearl Casino in D'Iberville. Investigators called that a carjacking attempt. Prosecutors say those seemingly unrelated murders and a shooting at the Paparazzi Lounge on Dolphin Street in November 2022 were all connected by a plot to kill a rival of John McCarroll Jr. A jury convicted him in October, along with his wife, Lyteria Hollis, and a man who fired the shots inside the paparazzi, Darius Rouser. U.S. District Judge Terry Moore on Wednesday sentenced McCarroll, Hollis, and Rouser to life in prison. Since there's no parole in the federal system, they'll have no hope of early release. Carmelo Dirks, who pleaded guilty to transporting a stolen vehicle across state lines and who was with Rouser during the casino shooting, will do 7 years behind bars. One of the victims of the paparazzi shooting, Michaela Tillman, was paralyzed. Her mother, Jacqueline Matthews, struggled to keep her anger in check.
She went to a class reunion, then they decided to go to a club downtown. Then I get a phone call saying that she was shot in the club. And at one time it was touch and go. She was fighting for her life, but now she's left paralyzed all over this senseless crime. It's kind of hard to keep your composure. When you see your child suffering or hurt or something, it's kind of hard to keep a smile on your face.
Judge Moore determined that the only sentence he was allowed to impose was life. That's something Rouser's lawyer, Shalia Tisdale, plans to take up on appeal.
I think it's ludicrous that Congress mandates sentences that the judge, who's in the best position of anybody to make a determination, is not allowed to depart from. And, you know, I think every case is different. Every person's different. I think a judge should be able to consider that.
Shavers, day-day to his friends and family, was a single father and manager at Walmart. His 8-year-old son, Elon, was among those who spoke in court about the impact of their loss. A friend of the victim, Mercedes Johnson, says she was at the Bank nightlife that night.
Me personally, I ran out the club. We was there for a concert, so I ran out. I don't know anything else other than that, but once I had word that it was Day-Day on that ground, that shocked me.
Sierra Gray, the victim's sister, says the family was hoping for life sentences.
That's not going to bring Day-Day back, but it will give our family some closure, knowing that he got justice.
There's one more defendant to be sentenced, Jamaurice Pierce. He pleaded guilty to the conspiracy charge, but the judge is questioning whether that plea is valid since it's an automatic life sentence. As for Hollis, the judge also sentenced her in an unrelated COVID fraud case. Prosecutors say that she stole nearly $20,000 from taxpayers and then used it for cosmetic surgery. Reporting live in the News Center, Brendan Kirby, Fox 10 News.